Hey everyone, my name's Alex and I'm a paintball addict. Today we're going to be looking at the Planet Eclipse Geo 3.5. This is another gun that I've had for quite some time now, and I didn't know if I wanted to do a review on this at first. Just like the Ego 10, it was another older gun that they don't make anymore. But I figured, just like the Ego 10 review, this is still a great gun. You can pick them up used pretty cheap actually, between $500 and $650. Depending on the ammo, they can go upwards of $1,000. A lot of those special edition ones, people still like them. And there's a reason that Planet Eclipse is coming out with the Geo 4 now after not having a Geo for many years. So let's take a look at what you would get if you were to buy like a used Geo 3.5. It's going to come with a nice hard case. Inside the case we're going to get our barrel, and this is a 689 back. We're going to get our tip. You're going to get obviously your gun. You may or may not have a parts kit with it, depending on if the previous owner has that or not. Same with Allen keys, lube. Hopefully they still have both bolts. The Geo 3.5 came with the IV core, which is one of the big differences between the Geo 3.1 and the 3.5. And it came with two different bolts. We have a hard tip and a soft tip bolt. And that's just like, you can use a softer tip bolt for colder weather, maybe more brittle paint, stuff like that. Personally, I used a hard tip bolt just to avoid bolt stick, and I never really chop paint in this gun anyways. So yeah, let's go over the differences real quick between the Geo 3, 3.1, 3.5, and then when we evolved into the CS line. So starting with the Geo 3, the Geo 3 was the first improvement over the Geo 2, and that included the SFR adjustment, which is solenoid flow restriction. It's this little knob right here. What this does is this controls the bolt speed, and by dialing this up and down, it'll allow the bolt to cycle faster or slower, allowing for a smoother shot or more rapid rate of fire. So that was one of the biggest differences they put on the Geo 3. And then we got the Geo 3.1, which got rid of the macro line and added the AT pipe. Going to the Geo 3.5, we got the quick disconnect bolt, not quick disconnect, but toolless. And we got the IV core, which a lot of people still love to this day. And we lost the IV core going to the CS2, which is Planet Eclipse's highest end marker that they put out to date. I guess I should say, going from the 3.5 to the CS1, what that did was remove the AT pipe. It still had the IV core, had a little bulkier frame, stuff like that. And then we went to the CS 1.5, which was just kind of like a milling redesign, basically. And then the CS2 obviously changed to the Gamma core bolt, which was a complete redesign, completely different gun. In my eyes, it's not even really a CS because it is a Gamma core. But now we saw it back in February last month. Planet Eclipse is coming out with the Geo 4, just because demand for the IV core has been so great. People still love these guns. You can find them used all day long on any of the Facebook groups, PB Nation, buy sell trade forums, any of that stuff. So yeah, let's get this barrel here. Put this together. You get a reverse threaded barrel. One of the improvements that they did with the Shaft 4 is the double porting on the tip, just to allow it to be a little bit quieter. You will notice this isn't a standard Geo 3.5. This is the GI cut. The only difference between the regular Geo 3.5 and the GI cut is going to be the milling. It's a private label milling they did in limited edition runs. Personally, I don't know how many of these are made. I do see them quite often, so I don't think they're super rare. But it's not the only private label Planet Eclipse has done before. They do the dark Geos. I'm trying to think. Obviously, they have the signature editions where it's the custom annos and stuff like that. They got the HK collaboration with the CS2, Infamous with the CS2, stuff like that. But yeah, going over the gun, I really do like this gun. It's very smooth shooting, feels good in the hands. I like the one-piece foregrip on the front. Kind of gives you something to grip onto, and it does feel good. It's nice spaced out. Personally, I don't mind the AT pipe. It's not a big deal to me. It doesn't get in the way for switching hands or anything like that. I don't know why people bitch about it, but they do. You get the Pops ASA, which has always worked phenomenally. Planet Eclipse's boards are always top notch. Always loved all the programming options and stuff you get on the boards. These will shoot 10.2 NXL ramping. This was one of my main guns for the first couple tournaments last year, just because it was very reliable. It never went down, shot consistent. It's quiet, not a lot of kick, and they're easy to maintain. So with that, let's go into a maintenance on it. Pulling the bolts out simple, you just lift up on the latch and it slides out the back. Now what we're going to do is simply twist apart the two sections here. That's going to leave us with our back half with the prop shaft on it. And then we can push the bolt out the front of the can. What you're going to do is take your favorite lube. For me, I use Lux Grease or Smart Parts Sleek on this. It just seems to work really well. And I'm going to wipe off all the old grease. And put a little bit on each O-ring. There's going to be 3 O-rings up in the front. You can see that. This is the hard tip bolt. The soft tip's got like a rubber insert on the front face. Going to do the same with the can. Just take a little bit of grease, and on the inside O-ring there, right inside the can, you can see it kind of in that lip there. Then we're also going to hit the ones on the outside. And then last but not least, get the prop shaft. You don't need much lube on this, just enough to coat the O-rings, get any dirt, debris off there. So just a little bit on the prop shaft. Next thing we can do is just slide the bolt right down in there. And screw the can on the front. So there we go. Got it back together. So then all you're going to do is just simply insert the bolt into the gun and latch it down. And you're going to want to maintain your bolt after every day of play, every couple of cases. That's about it. You know, you can get down into the regs. There's plenty of videos online. Personally, it's a pain in the ass to get this foregrip off for me, just because it's a new foregrip and it's very tight fitting. So I won't show you how to do that because there's a ton of videos online, but it's very simple to do. It's very similar to the Ego 10 regulator. But other than that, there's nothing else to maintain on here. You know, you can pull the eyes out, clean up the eyes if you ever break paint, clean your, or change your detents out maybe every 50,000 shots or something like that. But I mean, it's a pretty simple gun and they shoot great. The only difference between this and the Geo 4 that's coming out is the Geo 4 obviously doesn't have the AT pipe and it's got a user serviceable solenoid. But other than that, you can pick up these Geo 3.5s for $550, $600 in great condition, as opposed to paying $1,200 for a brand new Geo 4, which is essentially the same exact marker. So with that being said, let's go ahead and show you guys how well this thing shoots. We'll take it outside, run a couple pods through it, and come back for a conclusion. So we got the Geo 3.5. It's going to be set to 10.5 NXL ramping. shoots really good. Let's go ahead and set it to uncapped and let it rip. Alright, so we got one more pot here. Set it over to NXL ramping uncapped. The SFR is set to the smoothest setting, so it's going to be the slowest of the bolt cycling, but you're still going to get the smoothest shot. That's how I prefer it. That's how I like shooting it. I'd rather have smoothest over bolt speed because obviously we're capped. But let's load this up and let it rip. So as you can see, this thing rips. It's not nearly as fast as the Ego 10 that Planet Eclipse made, but still pretty fast. Let's see, the board says it peaked at around 19. So these hoppers aren't really the best at feeding fast like the rotors were or the Halos back in the day. But yeah, let's go back, bring it inside, and do our conclusion. So as you can see, this thing shoots really nice for its age. Probably like 4 or 5 years old now at this point, and they still rip. Like I said earlier, there's not much difference between the Geo 3.5 and the new Geo 4 that just came out. All you're really getting different is a user serviceable solenoid, which you shouldn't have to crack into anyways, and you're getting the AT pipe taken out, which if you don't like the AT pipe, just find yourself a used CS1 or CS 1.5 or CS Pro, CSR, any of those different CS lines that's not a CS2. And you can save yourself $500–600 from buying a new gun, especially because they're the same thing. I mean, Planet Eclipse didn't really change much up. They were just re-releasing the gun out of demand. So definitely, if you're interested in picking up a nice shooting spool valve marker, it's going to be durable, it's going to last, easy to maintain, definitely look into the Geo 3.5. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe. Have a great day, guys.